Please allow me to introduce our panelists. I'll go in the order. So, Miss Seong Hee Park, she's an incredible makeup artist. She's originally from South Korea, and then she studied at the Fashion Institute of Technology, and then she went on to get her master's in color from Hongik University in Seoul. And since then, she's been working with the makeup artist Pat McGrath since 2010, and she's worked on various projects with her, including the Met Costume Institute Gala, CFDA Awards, New York, Paris, and Milan Fashion Weeks. It's magazines, just to give you a list: Vogue Italy, W Magazine, ID Magazine, V Magazine, Vogue Korea, W Korea, Harper's Bazaar Korea and China, Allure Korea, and honestly, if I list all of the magazines that she's been featured in, we're never going to get to the other panelists. So let's just all agree that she's worked on pretty much every magazine you've ever flipped through, photo shoots, everything. And one thing I'm going to do mention is English is not her primary language, but she is still able to engage in conversation, so she'll be doing her best. But she may be reading off of her notes, so, encourage her.
Thank you.
And then to her left is Miss Jessica Matlin. She is currently the deputy beauty editor at Cosmopolitan magazine. Before that, she held titles at W and Allure and Lucky. And she's also written for Harper's Bazaar, Glamour, Nylon L, and most recently, she's the new co-host of the beauty podcast called Fat Mascara. And then Miss Alicia Yoon. Thank her for the goodie bags that you received upon your arrival. Some amazing products in there. So she's the co-founder of Peach and Lily, which is the premier Asian beauty destination that offers the best Korean cosmetics. And they actually just opened a brick and mortar store as well. Before launching Peach and Lily, she also worked in finance and consulting. So if you're in finance currently and would like to switch over to beauty, she's the expert on that as well. And last but not least is Miss Patricia Chang. So after graduating from the Rhode Island of Design with a concentration in graphic design, she switched her career over to fashion, where her first job was at Marchesa, yeah, where she was hand painting and designing embellishments for their dresses and bags. And then afterwards, she launched her own line. And from that collection, her handbags debuted on shopbop.com. And this year, she also launched her lifestyle blog called Coco Trish. Great. So let's just get started. I think I want to start with Patricia and go down this way for the first generic icebreaker question. What does K-beauty mean to you?
K-beauty, I feel like it's Koreans care so much about how they look and a lot more than other countries. And I feel like the core of that really starts with the skin. And there's a lot of focus on skincare. Yeah.
I think for me, K-beauty is all about knowledge. You know, a lot of people talk about like the fun ingredients and the fun packaging and the big trends, but I think at the core, you know, Korean women are so into understanding everything, understanding what your skin type is, what ingredients work for you, how to customize your regimen to your skin type. So it's this really empowering knowledge about how to take care of your skin.
I think for me, K-beauty means innovation. As an editor, you know, we're always looking for newness. And when I hear about a new K-beauty line or a new product, I just breathe a sigh of relief because I know I have something to write about.
Mm-hmm. I personally think of K-beauty in three different aspects. First, as a born and raised in Korea, K-beauty is like an originality to me, since I'm used to environment and looks and people's taste and behavior. K-beauty defines my culture and my people. Secondly, it was a starting point in my career where I had a unique experience that formed me into an international makeup artist. And lastly, by looking at the K-beauty industry from its marketplace, it contains a fun, unique, and innovative beauty items and beauty techniques.
Great. Thank you. So let's just dig deeper into what defines Korean beauty and what makes it distinct from the beauty products and rituals from other countries. So, for example, Alicia, when you're curating products from Korea, what are you looking for as a point of differentiation?
So just to set the frame of reference, there are 9,000 beauty brands in Korea. 5 years ago, there were actually only 1,200.
Wow.
So that growth rate is really exponential. And, there's really everything over there. You have like a very basic glycerin-based moisturizer that is a lot like Neutrogena. And so for us specifically, when we're looking for what to bring over stateside, the curation process is really rigorous and it's the heart of what we do. So the first thing we look at is what's really, really cultish and like there's this like manic consumer base around it. So we're not as excited about how big the brand is because usually that's associated with how much marketing dollars they have. But we really want to see of the people who know the brand, are there these crazy repeat purchase rates? Are people just like, I can't live without this product? So that's really exciting for us when we see a brand like that. We also want to make sure that the brand has a real commitment to quality, that they're not just trying to make a fast buck because China is really into Korean beauty products these days. We also want to see that the company itself has a core R&D capabilities that they can actually keep innovating and come up with really interesting ideas and products. And then we want to make sure it's efficacious as well as gently formulated. So, it can't be really great at getting, rid of the appearance of all your deep wrinkles, but then your skin is left really red. And then, of course, there is the whole sensorial experience. So it has to be really delightful to use. The packaging, the texture, the scent, all of that has to be just really something that you're going to want to engage in every day.
And from the media perspective, Jessica, so when you're publishing stories, publishing, editing, or writing whatnot about Korean beauty products or rituals, what makes these stories different from the ones that you were writing prior to the emergence of K-beauty?
Sure. I think, like to my point earlier, a lot of it is newness. Like that is one of the biggest challenges in magazine publishing, especially because you're writing about skincare or makeup every single month, and you have to make it seem fresh. And some months it's harder than ever, but or harder than usual. But what K Beauty's done is it's actually, innovated in all these categories that you don't have to force it. So it's really made our jobs easier in a very selfish way. But it's really innovated in all of these categories. And also it's brought like a real sense of, it might sound a little corny, but it's brought a real sense of fun to the category. So it's made it more approachable and just it's made skincare, it's sort of demystified a lot of things because these products are way more approachable than a lot of the other products that we've been seeing on the counters for the past 10, 15 years.
Speaking on innovation, I think we can all agree that, the growing innovations coming from Korea doesn't just apply to the beauty industry, but so many other industries, whether it's startups or fashion or whatnot, a lot of things are happening in Korea. So Seong Hee, maybe you can talk about this. You were already working in the beauty industry in Korea prior to coming to the U.S. So could you maybe speak about what you saw and experienced there that made Korea able to innovate so quickly?
Oh, yeah, sure. I think that innovation of the K-beauty happens quickly because of these three reasons. I got the three reasons. Always, I love numbers. Okay, number one, Korean consider looks an important factor, right? People tend to be more conscious about how they look or what other people think about themselves. And they also watch what is currently trending or popular between the Korean celebrities. Is correct? Second, Korea has 4 seasons. Because of the temperature changes, many skin products need to be developed accordingly to fit the makeup needs of each different season. This requires the needs of efficiency in the products, which result with the third reason. People are sensitive in buying the products. They want the same amount of benefits in pure cosmetic products. This results with a higher competition in the beauty market because the market is small and the consumer satisfaction level is harder than reach. This is why innovation in the Korean beauty product happens quickly and continuously.
And speaking from the market side, Alicia, I mean, on average, you're visiting Korea like every 6 weeks. So what do you see that makes Korean beauty able to innovate so quickly?
I think for sure, because the marketplace is so competitive, um, beauty brands are always on their toes. So, for example, like you created this one product that's patented every which way, and it's just like a blockbuster product. And then 50 other companies, there's 9,000 beauty brands, so 50 is not even that many, will come up with something that's like kind of almost exactly the same, but somehow doesn't reach the patent. And then so you just have to go on to the next product to be able to differentiate yourself as a beauty brand. But I think at the core, it's really the culture of um, perfection, like what it means to have flawless skin as defined by a woman in Korea is so different than I think how it's defined here. I remember even my mom, when she was in her 30s, I was like maybe 5 or a little bit older, and she would complain about like how her skin has sun damage, and I was like, your skin is totally clear. But it's really about the inner skin. So she was saying that the translucency was just becoming less because you really start seeing the damage that we would only see if you had like a UV light to the face. And so when I interview like dermatologists or even makeup artists or estheticians, it's really interesting because they're always like, I don't even know what to do anymore because my customers come in here being like, yeah, no, I know, my skin is perfect, but you see, there's like slightly less firmness here, and they'll like bring these pictures in, and so the standard there is so high, and I think that pushes beauty brands to really have to innovate. And it's not just on you need a new formulation, but the consumer there they're very spoiled, and their expectations are sky high, and it's good for us as consumers because basically they'll write on these community boards that everyone is reading, and they'll say things like, well, so I saw that this one beauty brand has the exact same formulation as this one, and then I found out that this one uses like 2% more of the active ingredient, but it's like a little bit less expensive than this one. And so, you're as a beauty brand, you have to deliver on every single front. And that also includes innovation on ways to get the cost down, ways to make the packaging stand out. The application has to be more convenient. And so it's just that pressure is just extreme.
Yeah, absolutely. So now speaking on K-beauty's influence beyond Korea, and particularly on how it might translate to the U.S., Patricia,
Sure.
through your blog and your and collection, you're engaging with an international audience. Could you talk a little about any differences in that engagement with your audience that you might see when you post about, American products versus Korean products?
Sure. I mean, it goes right with what on point with what everyone was talking about. But let's say I post a Western product. It's a great product. A lot of times they focus on the organic element, and um, it's just simply a great product, and it'll mostly be how to use it and how to apply it. But Korean products, because of the innovations, and it does make our publishing life easier in that they make it so special and so interesting and fun that when I post something about it, a product, let's say, people are just so fascinated and curious about, oh, what is that? I get a lot of like, oh, what is that? And I think they're really good at selling it. And I mean, let's be real, the skincare and spending hours doing your makeup, learning how to do makeup, it's kind of a chore for us women. It takes, they're always like, did you do your skincare routine? Don't forget to apply your SPF. And it's a chore, but I feel like Koreans are so good at making it special and making it something like a gold rubber mask. I mean, you'll only find that in Korea, and it feels like you want it when you see it, and it feels like you're pampering yourself. And taking a simple skin white paper mask and putting an animal face on it is just like it's just so easy to get there. Well, it's not easy, but they're being very creative about how to stand out and how to get their point across about it being fun and it being good for you. And you know, they're just so creative. So there's a lot more reaction when they share the Korean products.
Right. And Jessica, would you say it's the same for print media and print journalism? Why do you think your readers are interested in Korean beauty? And within Korean beauty, what topics have been the most popular?
I think, skincare has always been a little difficult for consumers to swallow because it's usually very expensive. Well, not usually, but a lot of it's very expensive. And I think a lot of brands have survived or used like as part of their marketing strategies to make it very, mysterious and like you're not going to understand this, but there's a very special ingredient and that in 8 weeks, it might work, and it's over $100. And what K Beauty, certainly not every product, but what it's done is made it fun, to your point, and that is what women love about beauty, not to make themselves feel like they have to like go to the bathroom and use this expensive cream and the whole thing's just a big slog. But a lot of the products have this perceived benefit, like real but also perceived benefit of you're within 5 minutes, like a mask, you're going to have smoother skin, or your blackheads are going to come out. So there's a lot of quick fix products that appeal to a much broader demographic than someone who is just going to get a wrinkle cream or an eye cream. So there's a broader appeal there. The price points can go really low. Like there's a mask that's on your site that I love, the Mizon. Is that, am I saying it right? Amazing. It's $2 and it's fantastic. And I've tried everything. It's fantastic. Another mask I just bought at Ricky's. Like I buy this with my own money. Like they're not just sending it to me. Because they send a lot of stuff to beauty editors free.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's true.
So I was like, I go and buy this stuff. They're $2 a piece, so that's a really nice entry point for people. So there's, a million reasons why K beauty is exploding, and it's not just marketing. What was the other part of the question?
Just which topics within K beauty have been the most popular?
I think the mask, because they play so well on social media for like a more younger demographic, but even just lighter textured creams, which are like aqua bombs, gels instead of heavy creams, just because not everyone people want lighter textures right now for different reasons. So it's just a broader demographic.
Right. Speaking on lighter textures, for those of you not familiar with the Korean look, it's called the no makeup look. So it's very like dewy and radiant, doesn't look like you're wearing any, and the eyebrows also happen to be more fuller and straight. So as a makeup artist, Seong Hee, do you think that look will be adopted by Hollywood and celebrity makeup artists at one point?
I do not think that Hollywood and the celebrity makeup artists will adopt the idea of straight eyebrows and the dewy makeup looks, because Korean and Western makeup trends have different ones and a way of expression. But day one, I can do that. I totally can do that.
And Alicia, which Korean beauty products do you see, coming over to and becoming popular here in America?
I would say that for sure, anything that's different, anything that's new, anything that's fun, or just anything people haven't ever seen before in that form or that texture, that ingredient, we always see a spike on our site when we first launch it. But interestingly, the best sellers end up being things that just the substance of the goop is like amazing. So, like a cream is our bestseller on our site by far. This one cream, it's the snail cream, and it's it's an interesting ingredient, but at this point, it's not that interesting to our consumers anymore because we've had this snail cream on our site for 4 years. But it's like, I remember like one of our customers, she was getting married and it was sold out on our site. It's like always sold out, no matter how much we order. And she was like, I am getting married and I really look different without this cream. You guys just have to figure something out.
Oh my God.
And we like distribute the cream to Urban Outfitters. And so I like literally went, like our customer service team was like, what should we do? I was like, I'm going to go to Urban Outfitters and buy it back and send it to this poor girl who just really needed this cream. And so it just works really well. And so I think even though the fun, innovative things are what catches people's eyes, at the end of the day, I think when it comes to skincare, people just turn to the things that they see results with over and over again.
On results, so let's start with Patricia and go down the line on what is your favorite Korean beauty trend or tip that you've now included in your own routine?
So I wasn't really aware of like how important skincare was until I learned about Korean skincare. So I work from home, and I fortunately, so that means there's a lot of hours where I don't have to wear makeup, and I try to take advantage of that time and just apply every serum and face mask just all throughout the day. I'm not very diligent, but I'm really trying to be. And the second one, this is my secret, but I have a baby, and he's 2. He pulls out all my hair in the middle of on top of my forehead, and I learned that Koreans will fill in their hairline, and it makes your face look smaller. But that was the best thing I've ever learned because my forehead's already big. So I was like, why does my forehead look even bigger in pictures? And I started filling that in with eyebrow powder, and yeah, and now it's, and even I told my mom, I was like, you have to do it too, because it's, she has a little patch of whiting falling out herself from, just getting older. So I was like, we've colored them, like, you look 10 years younger. And yeah, that's the best tip that I learned from Koreans.
So I have really dry skin. I have eczema actually, and it's pretty severe. I like never really sleep because of my job, and I travel like all the time. Like in between the 6 weeks I'm going to Korea, I'm also going to like California, and it's like it's awful. And so my skin basically just is always struggling. And so I actually do a sheet mask every single day, but on top of my actual skincare regimen. And I actually started doing this because we're creating our own line of sheet masks. So I've been testing a lot, but I suddenly started noticing that when I did it every single day, in fact, sometimes I'll do like 4 a day because I'm testing them. That was a little too much because I actually noticed that my skin was getting like kind of heavy and tacky. But doing 1 a day, I noticed like a huge difference in my skin. Like people at work were commenting like, were you slacking off last night? You look so well rested, And so I would say, that was a really easy thing to do. I mean, sheet masks, as Jessica mentioned, they're affordable, but also it's a really fun way to test what ingredients work for you. So I would recommend that. The other thing is a lot of people don't really focus on the amount of lipids on your skin. So most people will want to hydrate skin through serums. But usually even people with oily skin, just the level of lipids that you have on different areas of your skin, it's like the most important thing because that's your skin barrier. That's going to be protecting everything inside, making sure everything operates at a really, in a good way. Collagen production is kept high and all of that. And so making sure your skin barrier is super intact and you have enough lipids. So if you don't have enough, like me, I just genetically don't have enough, just using like an argan oil or just mixing in oils and having oils become your best friend can go a really, really long way.
I feel like I'm stealing your answer a little bit because I love the sheet mask. I'm going to try yours when that comes out. But I think it's just a nice way to take 5 minutes out for yourself, even if you're not like a crazy beauty person. It's just a nice way to kind of end your day and pamper yourself. I've been talking to like someone recently for a story, and they were saying just like take it, whether it's like doing your nails or, conditioning mask, whatever it is, just taking like 5 minutes out for yourself and just like either using it to end your day or just kind of get back to yourself and give yourself that. It sounds corny, but like that me time is just a nice, important thing to do for yourself, especially as a woman. We're all really busy. So I think a sheet mask, I do it like once a week. You could do a little more. It's just a nice treat. And it's very inexpensive.
I like the way the extra hydrate effect cream with the regeneration serum. That's my favorite things because I am 45 years old and then I try to keep my skin very nice.
She doesn't look
So
45 at all.
I've been preventing.
Yeah.
I've been preventing my skin since I was college.
Yeah.
So use eye cream and hydrate cream because I saw my mom does, they put the cream every night in the morning. So I just got it. So it doesn't need any effort to learn. It's naturally I learned. So I met Alicia, that she gave me a skin, the Korean product, to be natural, the
Be the skin.
be the skin. And then recently I got a big problem with my skin. And then I was looking for a good skin product. And then at the time I met her and then she suggested me the serum with the organ oil. And I tried and then love it. So still I'm using it. And then we need a hydrate stuff, even whatever the younger and the older, because we're getting old. We lost the hydrate and oil, so we have to put every moment, every day, the hydrate cream and the oil stuff. So I truly love the combination, the hydrate effect.
So glad to hear
Yeah,
that.
cream with oils. So which oil, doesn't matter, right? So the try on every night.
Yeah, great.
You can, you can feel, oh, my face getting like a baby look, and then I turn maybe 10, the 10 years younger.
Yeah, great. So we're gonna have a quick giveaway time, just to show of hands who works in beauty. Okay. Okay. So because these questions are a little bit hard, I don't even know the answers to them. So Peach and Lily will be giving a 40% discount code to those who get the answer right for these next 3 questions. We'll go with whoever raised their hand first. If you get it wrong, we'll move on to the next person, etc. Alicia will determine who has the correct answer, because again, I really don't know the answers to these. So first question, name at least 3 skin benefiting attributes of the snail secretion filtrate as a key ingredient. So 3 skin benefiting attributes of the snail secretion filtrate. Anyone? Anyone guess? Should we do like a group answer? One answer each? Yeah, back. Even skin tone. What was that? Elasticity. And the last. Are they right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. So that was great. The snail secretion filtrate is so commonly used in skincare products now that sometimes it's listed as an ingredient and it's not even called out. It's just like a common skincare ingredient now. And the reason it's so good is that, I mean, it just does a lot of different things. It hydrates the skin, it has antimicrobial properties, so it will help keep acne at bay. It helps regenerate the skin, so it will help even out your skin tone because it will help with hyperpigmentation. It helps, with fine lines and wrinkles. It helps to firm up the skin. So yeah, that was great.
Please find me afterwards. Next question, what is a rubber mask? Anyone? Yeah? Great, that's like a 5-star review.
Awesome. So yeah, it's basically that was exactly right. It's an alginate-based mix, and the spa grade ones, it basically you mix it and you put it on your face, and because it creates this really occlusive barrier, all the skin benefiting ingredients are like forced into your skin, and you just have to find the right ones because the ones that are spa grade, when you take it off, it stays moist for 72 hours, which basically means that you can leave it on your face for an hour even, and the moisture won't actually be whisked back into the mask that's dry. So with rubber masks, you have to be really careful. If you get the ones that dry too quickly, it can actually be more damaging. So you just want to make sure whichever one you get, you peel it off when it's still moist. And yeah, it basically leaves your skin just super glowing.
Great. And the final question is, healthy skin needs to be balanced, of course. So what does it mean truly to have balanced skin? Yeah, again.
Yeah, I think we can give it to her. There's a few parts to this answer. So having balanced pH to protect your acid mantle on top of your skin at a usually around a 5.5 is one part of it. The other part that we talked about having the right amount of lipids, not too much, not too little, and then also having the right level of hydration. So I don't think I've ever met anyone with too much hydration. It's really hard to achieve. And so usually it's that we're lacking a lot of hydration in our skin. As Seong Hee mentioned, that's, one of the core like holy grail principles of Korean skincare, because once your hydration goes, a lot of functions of your skin at the cellular level starts to go. And so, in Korea, there's this key concept of like staying hydrated 24/7.
Great. So going back to K-beauty and why it's so popular, I mean, it's been such a hot topic for a while. We're hosting this entire event. So Jessica, as a representative of journalism and media, one, why do you think this has been the case, and is it just a fad, or will it sustain its popularity? For example, I went on Sephora the other day, and K-beauty was its own category.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't. Yeah. So will that always be a category from here on out?
I don't foresee it going away anytime soon because it's making money. So it's making money for Korean brands, but it's also making money for American brands, European brands, and the thing that what's funny about why it's so big to me is that American and European brands, like big ones, what they've done is, I feel like it's a little bit of a chicken egg situation, is like they'll come to see me or they'll have an event and they'll say, this is inspired by, Korean beauty. And it's like they're saying it as a compliment to Korean beauty, but it's like this kind of like tacit acknowledgement that that's where the real innovation is. So they're selling their own product, which is great, and they're making great products, like wonderful. Just during Cosmo about like gel moisturizers and essences, but it's making their customers, who many of them don't know or didn't know. I mean, now that Sephora has this, everyone knows. Who didn't know about Korean beauty, it's probably driving a lot of them to go get maybe that moisturizer, but also the real thing. So it's kind of been like a free PR campaign for Korean beauty. So I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon, and it just has this machine that's kind of running itself now.
Right. And on free PR, I think social media and Instagram in particular, it's free advertising, really. And because of those influences, I think we've been able to sustain the rise in spotlighting K-beauty. And we have one on the panel, Patricia. So you've built your Instagram following from 0 to almost 100,000 now. And you're not just representing your personal brand, but also, Korean product when you post about them, and then, ultimately Korea as well as a nation. So in that note, what are your top 3 tips on getting your visually stunning images and really connecting with your audience?
I think one, you just have to be yourself. I happen to be Korean, but yeah, I mean, like, yeah, you see all those quotes on Instagram and stuff, but it's really true. If you're going to imitate someone that you look up to or something, then why wouldn't they follow that person? You're unique, so I would say be yourself and keep to your story. And two, I would say be consistent in your style and what you post and what you share, because like they'll be following you for a reason, and then something pops up. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. So they want to see you for what you are. And three, it is a visual space, so do consider the photography. If you don't feel like you're good at composition or um, editing, filters, and things like that, it's really easy to just look online and just Google a little bit about it and see what styles you do like, and make your photos prettier, but also share what makes you happy, because chances are it'll make someone else like enjoy it as well.
Great. So the last question, we'll start with Seong Hee and then go down the line. When it comes to K-beauty, everyone, the audience, is interested in how to get that flawless, dewy, radiant, youthful skin. And each of you are beauty experts in, different aspects. So what would be your complete regimen that helps you maintain your healthy, glowing skin?
I mentioned before that's moisturizer with extra hydrate effect, and the regeneration serum. That's my essential kit for the skin. You have to know what is the skin balance. So each single day the people's skin is different. So my skin is always dry skin. My skin is always oily skin. It's not true. Sometimes depends on condition, body condition, and then depends on where they are, because heating during the winter time, we always get the hot heat. It makes the skin dry. So we have to know what is my skin condition, and then you apply. Oh, today my skin is so bad because it's so dry. I work at the office all day long, and then he's so hot. So I need some more, oil stuff and then moisture stuff. So you have to. Okay, I asked to my friend. So how many steps you have skin stuff for your skin? She said, oh, maybe 3, sometimes 2, and then I'm not using sunblocks. Why? Because the foundation has SPF, the 15, 20. You know what? But you need wearing sunblock every day, every morning, because the light, even you are in the inside, outside, we always got the damage from the light, the sun. So my secret is wearing sunblock every morning, and then I always consider and then which product is good for my skin, and then I always indicate by myself my skin. So that 3 steps make my skin gorgeous, I think. It's easy, right?
Yeah, it's working. It's working for you.
Yeah. Only for me?
No,
not for
you.
you.
Look good.
Thank you.
I'm pretty simple in the morning. Cleanser. I try a million different things, so I'm not going to name brands, but cleanser, serum, love a serum, moisturizer with SPF. Not going to rely on my foundation, no. And then I always like a nice luminizing, like a luminizer or a highlighter. I'm sure you have that in the makeup section, right? Yeah. And then at night I'm very into the other thing besides mask, the double cleansing. I was very skeptical of the double cleansing for a while. I thought it was like, why do I need an extra step? Maybe this is just like a marketing thing. It's not. The double cleansing is very good if you wear a lot of makeup, because first you cleanse with oil and then like a more, not an oil, like a foam or just something to take off like a second layer. I did a test, and it really does get off more than just cleansing once. And then I do I don't like a whole production at night that much anymore. So just like a sleeping mask. They call it a sleep pack.
Wow.
Wow.
So my skincare regimen is like totally opposite. It's like super long. Um, so in the morning, I start with the double cleanse.
In the
And
morning.
in the morning, because I want to get my heavy creams off.
Oh, okay.
And so it
I
has a
never
lot of
thought
oil.
of that.
So I like to use an oil cleanser to get that off. And to Jessica's point, the double cleanse is actually like, it's really important. And it's not even really just a Korean thing. So I went to esthetician school in Korea in the 90s before college. And then I actually enrolled back in esthetician school in New York this time because I wanted to see how skincare is taught in the different countries. And even in the US, in esthetician school, they're like, you must cleanse with oil to get your client's makeup off. And if you don't, the water based cleanser is really only going to push impurities back into the skin versus, casting all of that out. Like oil attracts oil and oil repels water, so you just have to, you can't just stick with a water based cleanser. So in the morning, I start with the double cleanse. And for those of you who aren't familiar with that, it's starting with an oil cleanser followed by some sort of, I stick with just like a lightweight water-based foaming cleanser. And I kind of just, there's like a oil cleanser I'm always sticking to, but the water-based cleanser, I go through a lot of different kinds and I'm always testing different ones. And then I have this one toner that I've been using for the last 4 years straight. It's also the Be the Skin one. It has no alcohol, as royal jelly. It's just super hydrating and it's very soothing. And then I use an essence because my skin is dry, meaning I don't have enough lipids and my skin's always dehydrated. So it kind of, my beauty teacher told me when I was like 18 and it always stuck with me. She's like, your skin's like a sponge and you just have to fill it up with water because when that sponge isn't hydrated, like every problem happens. Like you move the sponge around and it'll break and that's like your skin barrier and you're going to get infections, i.e. acne. Also, when you try to put something into a dry sponge, it just won't absorb that thing. And so you're plumping it up and your face actually, they were swearing that when you look, it actually will get plumper. Like when you're really looking under like, a magnifying glass as you're doing extractions and so forth. So essence for me is like, I never skip that step. And then I do like 3 to 5 serums and a face oil.
You are.
Because, like I feel like if you have dry skin, you're prone to sagging and so forth. And I have this family facialist I've been seeing in Korea since I was really little. And she's like put the fear of God in me. She's like, you're so prone to sagging. By the time you're in your 30s, you're going to look like you're 50. And, I'm in my mid 30s and I don't think I look 50 yet. So I don't know, it's working. So I just keep doing all my serums that help with firming and all that good stuff. And then I do an eye cream. Sometimes I'll use like a night cream as an eye cream. And then I'll do either a night cream or, like a day cream. And then I do SPF. And then I do my cushion compact. But you know what? It only takes like 5 minutes. It's like, it's not that bad.
Just
and then,
like this.
yeah.
Using hands.
Like if I really had time, I would wait like maybe 30 seconds in between each one. And not really for how it absorbs, but really just for the texture to, feel good. But I kind of have my routine down where, I figured out textures that work well together. And then in the evening, pretty much the same thing, but then with the sheet mask in between. So it's a lot, but, that's my skin type. So I put in the work.
Okay. I was actually preparing to say SPF cleansing. I didn't realize the importance of really taking off all your makeup and how much doesn't come off when you think it does. And I learned this from my Korean friends. They were like, you gotta check it out. And I learned a lot from your sample sale actually about the oil cleanser, which has changed my life. And because there's nothing more to add to this routine that you've all learned, I will say that yes, when the heater's on and all these things, drinking water is so crucial. So that's hydrating from the inside.
So now we're going to be moving to the back of the room for our breakout session. So how this will work, Alicia will begin at her station with a quick 5-minute rundown on K-beauty tips on having healthy skin, and then each panelist will be doing their own station. So please try not to crowd one station the entire time. Visit each panelist and talk to them about their projects and their work, and also be mindful of the other guests who might want to talk to them as well. And we need one model for Seong Hee's makeup demo. Anyone? No one wants to get their makeup done? Okay. We'll go with you.
Could you stand up?
She needs to screen you first.
Sorry, I need to check up. Oh yeah, thank you.
Great. So yeah, before we go, so after, during the breakout session, feel free to leave. There's not going to be like an official closing, but please, again, fill out the feedback forms if you have time. We really appreciate your thoughts. Great. So now let's move to the back.
Thank you.